Welcome to Raining Blue and White. I'm your host, Robert. This is the place where we talk about college football and Penn State football in general. Our main goal here is to cut the bull and be as lean, mean as a fighting defense and as versatile as pro style offense. Let's get rolling. Okay, our debriefing today. Our number one, the PAC12. This is actually pretty much their last season, so we're going to run down first last year's one candidates, but they actually on Google they actually don't put it into the divisions like they did last year. So I will go through it differently after I go down how it looks in today's setup. USC, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Oregon State, UCLA, Washington State, Arizona, Cal, Arizona State, Stanford, and Colorado. Which with the divisions, the two of each division was USC and Utah, which led to Utah beating USC in the Pac-12 championship game. This year they abolished conferences, of course, and this might be their last season. This year, the conference laid out ended up at the end of the season, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Oregon State, Utah, USC, UCLA, Cal, Washington State, Arizona State, Stanford, and Colorado. I think, Colorado ended. The number one surprise, everybody thought Deion Sanders was going to give for Colorado. I'm just going to go with the last team right now, Colorado. Everybody had high hopes. I was actually impressed that they won 3 more games compared to last year because they only won 1 last year. So that's a good step forward as they march into the Big 12. Take a breather on that one. And we look at Washington, which is going to the Big 10. They won the Pac-12 championship game against Oregon. Both those teams are going to the Big 10, which in my case, I'm not very high on Oregon, the add-ons for the Big 10. I'm not high on Oregon. I'm not high on UCLA or USC. Washington, I think they might be in the middle or even close to the middle of competing for a Big 10 championship. But Oregon and the other two, USC and UCLA, they're not going to be competing for a Big Ten championship anytime soon once they come in. They're going to start realizing they're going to have to actually definitely fix on their defense would be the number one thing. Because they're going to have a defense that actually is going to slow down the ball, and also their offense is going to have to learn you can't just do one thing really good because they'll figure you out. Or if you do good on both sides of run and pass, you're going to have to figure out new dynamic ways to beat that. Because that's how the Big Ten is. You're going to have to find something dynamic to actually fool these defenses. So we're looking at how they have it set up here. USC and Washington. Well, Washington moved up. Oregon did move up. Teams that dropped, let's see. UCLA was in the middle. The UCLA is near the middle, almost heading towards the bottom. So, for also the ones that are going to the Big 12, you got Arizona, which they look pretty good. They might look very good. Utah, I'm pretty much sad for Utah. Utah did really good with a record of, let's see, last year. That was 10-4 last year. This year they dropped to 8-4. I can understand what happened with Utah. I feel bad for Utah fans that they suffered a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. And plus, they didn't have their starting quarterback that they had last year because of injury. That was a big hit. And it was against my Penn State Nittany Lions, of all things. Then you get the other ones here. Let's see. Arizona State. They're going to need a lot of improvement. But I seen a few of their games. I'm saying they are quite possible to improve. And Colorado will be coming back home to the Big 12, where they used to be. Then you go into the ones that are going to the ACC. Okay. You got Stanford. This might help Stanford if the ACC stays the same like it's been the last 2 years. Stanford might actually look pretty decent. Cal's Cal. Sorry, guys. Sorry, anybody that's a Cal Bears fan. The Cal Bears, that's here nor there. But Last year they didn't have anybody go to the college football playoff, and this year they got Washington to go in. For their last year, I think this is going to be quite interesting to see, because if I remember right, Washington is going against Texas in their first round, because there's a 2-round system. And I wish Washington luck against Texas. Well, the other game, I'll say a little bit later, either when I do the SEC or the Big Ten debriefing. But I'll see you next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment in the comments which conference you want me to debrief of, and I'll see you next time. And for all of us, we are Penn State. You guys lock and load.